Hey.
How you doing, man?
I'm okay.
Good.
Guess what?
What?
You're listening to the Jim and Peter show.
I knew that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I stay in the seat
Right?
for the whole week. I just
You do?
This is
You're glued?
I'm glued.
Really?
Absolutely.
Maybe you should wash.
Well, you might be right about that as well.
I don't know if that's Downy Fresh or not.
Well, let's just keep moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
How was your week? Good.
How was my week?
Was it good? It was good. You don't need to talk anymore.
Enough.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fine.
want to talk about me
okay,
today.
That's fine.
Enough about me. What about you? What do you think
what
about
I'd like
me?
to talk about today
Yeah.
is the new guy. What is the new guy? The new guy
You got a
is...
new guy?
Well, I didn't ask for one.
You didn't?
but yeah. Well, it's a divorce, and in my situation, there was a new guy before I even knew I was getting kicked out. So,
Right.
surprise! Hey, isn't that
Yeah.
good? But it's funny because we were talking about this. I found I used to take little pieces like this on my iPhone just to hear their voices as they get older, and I remember kind of feeling bad that they were scared. My kids were. They didn't know who the new guy was, and I don't know how you get that through to them so they can feel safe and they can feel like that,
Your kids were introduced, your ex took on a new boyfriend and brought them in front of your children pretty fast early on, correct?
Before divorce is a little bit ahead of the game.
Okay,
yeah.
because again, in my situation, and again, you're right, you're talking about new guys, so I can say that there's women who bring in,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's guys who bring in women too, or too soon. When is too soon to introduce your kids to somebody? That kind of stuff, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong about that. You're absolutely right. But the reason that the man has more scariness, I guess, for lack of a better way, is because he's bigger, he's stronger, and what's happened to dad? Where's dad been? And it's the exact same thing. What happened to mom? So I remember that because I didn't know how to handle it either. I was so upset because
You get pissed off, right?
Oh, absolutely,
It's like,
absolutely.
I would be.
I mean, we agreed when the divorce did happen that we would at least not have anyone but ourselves when we had our time for at least 4 to 5 months so they could kind of, digest it.
I'm still that way with Anna. It's like, there's nobody. I mean, I could introduce a friend, but it's never going to be anything serious unless I'm serious.
I try to be, what's interesting too is my ex-wife, her mom had, I should say it this way, I'm sorry. My ex-wife's dad was seeing another woman, and her mom was hurt, tremendously hurt.
Sure.
And I think that my ex was pretty pissed off at her dad about that too. So I wonder, but it's amazing when I first met them. Then it was like the woman that he was having sex with. I shouldn't say this, I guess, in front of her, but they're good people. But the thing of it is, it just wasn't working. He found someone that made him happy, and she just went her way. But it seemed to be like it was for me when I first met them. And wait a minute, that's the girl that you were having sex with, your husband. And you guys can go to parties and hang out together and
Some people are better than others.
And kiss each other. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I could never do that. I just couldn't do that. But everyone does something different. And I wonder, though, because of seeing that, does she think that that's okay to do with our situation?
I don't know.
Because
I'm not that guy either. I cannot sit. And it's like, I envy the relationships that do get along amicably. And like, again, I got some neighbors down the street here that they're separated. They got 2 girls, and the husband just remarried, and the new wife brings the kids over here and stuff like that. Because
how do they take it?
It's working, I guess. They're one of the chosen few.
Well, if they're young, and girls and mom.
You know what? Here's the thing. Okay, you guys got divorced. It wasn't on any good terms or anything like that, but you have to love your kids enough to be able to comfort them and explain to them why, or maybe not get it so deep, especially if they're young. But it's up to you now to make it okay. Like, yeah, this didn't work, but we love you very much. Like,
Right.
Anna's mother, we still don't talk. We text. I mean, it's stupid by now.
That's all we
but
do.
She's still angry and whatever. But the thing is, she loves Anna very much, and I adore Anna, and that's all that matters. And thank God for right now. Knock on wood.
But it's just
You're right.
When you have someone else that's in the house,
Right.
That was where we agreed that we wouldn't have
Well,
any.
she broke the rule from day one.
Well, and I think Megan had just become 6,
Yeah.
5 or 6, and she called me one time and she said, "Dad, I think that Mom has a new boyfriend." And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" "Well, because he's living here and he has a robe on."
Yeah, well,
So-
again, who?
And actually, it turned out to be a good guy.
Okay,
Believe it or not,
but don't you think she should have kind of like
Yes.
talk to you and talk to your kids and sit down and go, this is
she
what's
said
going
she
on.
did do that, but
Really?
but Megan was so pissed
To
off.
you?
She said to me that because I mentioned, I was furious too. I go, "What the hell are you doing? We agreed that we wouldn't do this for at least 6 months. They've got to digest. It's already bad enough,
They're burning.
And but there was the new guy,
I'm going to tell you.
So that's why I'm trying to find out. I would like to have everybody that has the same kind of situation, how they're handling it.
there's a lot of it.
There's going to be a lot of anger, people, but
Whatever. It sucks. My ex had a relationship prior to me where she had 2 children, as you know. I did not meet her kids for God knows how long. I don't even remember. I'm going to say 8 months to a year.
So when you were dating your wife
Never met her kids.
for years,
No. I'd say
But
about
once in a
6 to
while,
8 months. Never met her children at all.
but
And
you
then
don't
finally-
just come in out of nowhere and you're a big like
No.
this new guy now we're on number 3 guy in 7 years. Our kid,
It's like buying new tires.
it's kind of like that because for 7 years, 7 years, I guess, maybe 8 years. The kids they've had 3 different guys living in that house. Me,
Damage.
and then the other guy,
there's
and
no
now
stability.
now we have this new guy. And when I saw him, he came in, and he's kind of weird looking, but I don't care. He kind of is, but he had these TVs. He was given TVs. Jake comes out. First time I met this guy, I'd never even met him before, and he comes out. "Dad, I beat." The guy's name's John. He goes, "Dad, I beat John. I won $30 playing poker."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, right away. I was like, yeah,
just
here's where we're going. You don't.
Which is nice.
No, it's not.
Why?
Because you're trying to get in through benefits. You're trying to get in immediately.
If your ex-wife, let him in,
Oh, she'll let
the
him do
guy's just you don't. Well, at the time you didn't know the guy, just like you didn't know the first one or whichever number 1,
he
2,
was
or 3.
he was more
Okay.
sensible.
But the thing was, bottom line is, you don't have any say so as to who she dates and this and that. Now, subjecting them to your children if they're unsafe, there's a problem. But the problem is you don't know what's going on over there. So now, if this guy's in the mix, if he's at least being nice to your kids, you're lucky. Because I got a couple of letters here, okay?
Yeah.
So you're lucky. Now, was it the right thing to do? I go back to blame to your significant ex-other.
Right.
Because it's not the guy's fault. Because she could have said, no, it's not his fault. So he's there, and he's like, how you doing? What's he going to do?
Oh, what you mean is when he came in
When
with
he
those
came in,
things.
what's he going to do?
Well, the new guy, and I don't know them that much. He seemed decent until he decided he wanted to beat me up at a baseball game. But that's in a way I understood that, and he
Really?
I understood why it was, because that's a whole different deal. We'll go into that. But the bottom line of it is he wanted to get there right away. She had already set this up, just like she did for me with the other guy, number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 was already, he had his ticket.
Jeez, you keep me busy, man.
Oh my God.
I'm dizzy.
Are you? There you go.
Keep me busy and dizzy.
Busy and dizzy.
Yeah.
But and now here we have this new. And when she had a divorce with the second guy, which I liked him. He turned out to be a really nice guy.
I know, but
now you're no good. 7 years, you're out. And so this new guy comes, and I never met him. he's giving my kid money. He's giving my kid TVs. And in his mind, he
way.
might be
Yeah,
he might
that's
be
his
thinking,
way.
"Hey, look,
You're
I'm
just trying to buy his way
You
in.
don't do that.
I guess.
You just guess.
Dude, again, it's better than him being a total prick. And
Well,
you know,
that can be
come
handled,
on.
though.
I understand, but you're not there. So at least, okay, did he do it right? Maybe not. Okay, because how many things have you done that thinking about? I could have done a little bit different, but your intentions were good.
I've never gone to anybody else's
You're-
home and
you're-
tried to take their kids.
Again, but
I
your
wouldn't-
intention on anything you do. I'm just saying, he gets thrown into this situation because he's banging your ex or whatever the hell the deal is, or he's wanting to live with her or whatever. So he's there. She's saying, yeah, come on in. Again, I blame her. You need to
I
have to
agree.
talk with her. So he's there. All of a sudden, he's staring at two kids, and maybe he's not that great with kids, or he doesn't know how to do it. Like,
Oh, he has two
Did he?
daughters, and I understand.
Okay.
He's a good
Okay.
parent.
Is he?
He probably is.
okay, I don't know. So
He probably is. But to think that way, and I told him, I said, I'm not comfortable with this, coming in
True.
and just giving him stuff like that to have TVs.
he just
and
probably
all.
tried to break the ice. That's a lot. That's overkill.
Well, he was in Arizona and he was running to get there because he really wanted to be with her. And it was funny because I think I mentioned this to you once.
Stop with the jokes already.
No, but I remember when I told you that I said, well, who do we have now? It's like, oh, he's the
one?
love of my life. And I'm like, well,
The
that's
one-
great.
the
But
other
I'm happy for you. And I truly am. I hope they are together because she needs help,
Yeah.
healthy. And he seems like a decent guy in that area. But it's kind of like, well, that's great that you have you always, because she's known this guy for 30 years, I guess, because they went to high school together.
Mm-hmm.
The light of my life. And I'm like, that's great, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to let me and Joe, the other guy, and all the other guys to
I
go?
know. I'm not saying, again, I keep going back to her. The problem you have is not necessarily him. It all starts with her.
Well,
you know,
you got a point
'cause-
there.
Well, I'm just saying that at least he tried. Maybe he didn't do it right, or maybe he overdid it. Because again, there's two scoops of ice
he
cream.
did,
Okay,
did
the
that.
same thing, except he did it in bucks.
Now
dollars.
he has more time than I've got to fix this, obviously, but it's a hard situation I'm dealing with Megan, my daughter, because she's not. My ex isn't going to help me. She's not. If I would, my hand to the Bible, I would definitely tell, if it was the other way around, like Jake likes to have most of the time with me, but he would be having all the time he needs to be with his sister, to be with his mom, to all these things. I would force it. I would push it as hard as I can. This is not what I get. I get, basically.
I would. So, I blame your ex. I blame your ex.
Well.
You should be. I mean, the guy got thrown into the situation because I promise you that if my ex gets a new relationship, she will not bring him around for quite a while, because at least she has that common decency, and I think it's more of her own fear. She just doesn't want to, and I give her credit for that, because again, obviously we got two different women in our lives, but again, and guys are bad for this too, because guys go out and want to go get laid, and all of a sudden they're bringing some new woman around, and the kids.
I didn't.
You didn't. Neither did I.
I didn't.
Well, I actually I did a couple. I met a couple of girls out someplace.
Well, I never did it where the kids were around at all.
Right. Well,
a friend of mine, Nikki, was there for a while because she was really a good friend
Yeah.
to Megan and everything. And
But
that
you didn't
was
have
it.
them sleeping over when your daughter's there or her kids
Right.
are there. Yeah, like same thing. But I did go out a couple of times and let somebody hang out with us. You know what I mean? I go,
Yes.
it's my friend. Okay, that was cool. I gave a hug at the end. It's okay. She hugged my daughter. It's all good. She's
Well,
a friend. I got
they're
lots of
smart
friends.
enough to know what's going on anyway now. But
Yes and no. But I mean, you're entitled to have friends. I mean, hell, today, my friend, they got nothing to do with it.
when number two was there, I would come by and sometimes they'd go to get to groceries and stuff, and I realized he's not going to do anything out of order. He's that kind of guy. He doesn't want to deal with it. He just wants to be with her, and yet at the same time I would always ask when it was my week. I said, so what was happening? Did no one yell at you? No one hit you or anything like that? And in the beginning, I was always asking this.
Right.
And I said, no, he just works on the computer, and then he makes the dinner for us, and that's it. And I thought, wow, that's great. Then later on, I realized, well, wait a minute now. you know. So now someone's living in the house
Yeah.
where they don't
Oh,
even
so
know
late.
each
You
other.
had to drive home, and
Well, no, but they don't even. It's still odd, isn't it? I mean, if
look,
you know,
guys make stupider mistakes. Stupider. they make more mistakes. I think. I think guys are quicker to take on a new girl.
you watch, because when number 2 came in,
Yeah.
now that's the one that took my kids away.
Yeah.
He didn't know he
Is
was.
he helping in this?
No, not really. Number 2, you mean?
Yeah, I can't keep up with the numbers. For Christ's sake, no. Number 42.
Number 2 is
number 9.
is the guy who
number
came,
9.
Number 2 came in.
Holy
and
moly!
For the divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after 7 years, number 2 was kicked out, and now we have number 3, who's the new guy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's right. Number 3.
Yeah, and you're right. This is all on her. You know, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, it's a lot about her, because
It's everything about her, because she's obviously not giving a shit of what's more important for your kids. And here's the difference: she's not giving a shit about what's more important for your kids, because she could have done it a little more subtly. However many times she's doing this, it's a repeat performance. From the time I've been knowing you, I've watched now how many times, but. I would not do it. You would not do it. There are a lot of guys that they just, they want to get laid, and all of a sudden, here's my new girlfriend, and I don't agree with that either. But it is what it is. That's the difference between them and us, and that's why we're here on this friggin' show getting pissed off about this for other people.
Yeah, we're in a garage talking about it.
You are?
No,
You're in the gutter.
I'm in the gutter.
You're in the gutter.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, doghouse. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rough. How was your day? Rough.
It's rough, all
Yeah,
right.
it is rough.
Well, that's the reason I brought it. It just came up to me because there was a little piece on, I think it was a Huntington piece, that was talking about how do you bring in a new lover with your children living there. And pretty much it just says you can't. That's basically what it said. Until they're about 15 and up, they're not going to understand it. They're not going to know what's going on.
It's even hard at that age,
You know?
because that age, like, our divorces, our kids were kind of young, but one of some things that we talk about is the divorces when the kids get divorced when they're 15, they're pissed.
Oh, yeah.
They're pissed because you are screwing up their community.
Right.
They're...
Well, I'm terrified and scared to death that not only that, now are they angry about us, but are they going to have a rebellion
Absolutely.
about? They're going to have rebellion.
It crushes you.
What you're saying is they're angry and they want to get.
I think the teenage stuff, divorcing when their minds are really way more developed. Sometimes that's like you're lighting a stick of dynamite because they're pissed.
Even if we were the Osmonds, I mean, and I was a single. I had no brothers and no sisters, so when all of this started happening, my head was just blown right off my shoulders. I was like, why is she so angry at me? Why is all this happening? And while it's something that just comes along, but now it's been worse because it's been injected to be even more. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm sticking with it. The person who lets, whether male or female, who starts bringing in new people into a child's life early on without really exploring it really well, regardless whether your ex married him eventually. I mean, she could just be a habitual marriage, criminal. Just constantly marrying somebody to be with somebody, for all you know. I mean, this obviously, some people have to have that. They're like codependent. They got to have somebody. So they will jump right out of one and immediately, I love this guy now.
Right.
Or I love this girl now. I've got both guys and gals. I've seen that. I've never been that person. It's like, you don't want to be with me? No big deal. It's like, we get together when we get together. I'm busy. I'm doing things. And if it works out in the long run, so be it. But I've never been I don't need to cling on to somebody, especially if I have kids, to try to get some moral support.
Right.
It's like, that's what your friends and family are for.
Well,
that's what we're here for.
Well, I'd love to have a lot of our subscribers and people that watch our show to give their opinion, because I know everyone's gone through this, obviously. And it's similar, but I've seen some divorces that are very smooth and is
How many?
in the not much.
Okay.
But when we started, it was 50-50. We had a good, what I thought was a great system that was working as best as we could. My son still cries about it once in a while. It's in him for his life.
See what I mean?
But
you see what I mean?
yeah, but I mean, like if I had
That's
to go,
not normal.
I know.
Okay.
I know
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So you have every right to be pissed because this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So now what?
Yeah. Well,
That's another show.
Well, that's another show, and there's options, but none of them are good.
Oh, no. I got one
None of
for you,
them are
but that's
good.
another show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and this is going to be good for everybody. But it's another show,
Well,
and it's going to get deep.
I've got to do something very soon, and I
See you
feel,
next week.
I feel, I feel really strong about it, but still, there's going to be hurt, and there's going to be.
What do you think's happening right now?
Don't get me wrong. Where a lot of the hurt's going to be shot on, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying that, where do you think that there's no hurt right now? What did we talk about this morning?
Yeah.
It's before we started. That's the problem. There's hurt going on after we leave this show, and when we come back to this show, there's still, if it's not this issue, it's that issue. That's why we're here.
Well, it's funny because us having this show would have helped me tremendously even if we didn't do this show. What I mean is you'd be able to chat, talk, and that's what our show's about. Letting us know, well, this is what I went through. Here's how I handled it. This is how I did it. Because, it doesn't, doctors are fine, psychiatrists are good.
You don't even know if you have a good one.
Yeah,
That's
you don't.
The problem.
You
They're
don't.
more crazier than us.
All you
And
know
we're
is
crazy.
your checks are moving like lightning.
Exactly. Feed the machine.
And this is more therapeutic than anything else. And I'll tell you.
And it's free.
Well, when I talked to you the first time about this, that's when I thought, well, it can't get worse. Oh, it can get worse.
Oh, it gets worse.
But hopefully things will be getting better. But the reason I brought that up is because that was on that Huntington page about how do you handle having another lover when your kids don't even understand what happened to dad, what happened to mom, what went on.
Well, that's again, and to me, if you
that to me is the part that makes me that's really shitty parenting.
I hear you, but
Yeah.
it's up to both of you to break that down and not kill each other in slander, which is very hard not to do. Right. Look at it. See, I can tell that face you got right now. It's like, yes, F you. I know. I hear you. You want to
I
just slaughter. You just want to say you're I get it. We all get that. We all get pissed. I'm done with it now. I'm over it. It's like, you know what? Here's the bottom line. I married my ex on my own free will. So whatever happened, I just tell her, I go, you know what? You're right. It is my fault. It's my fault. I knew what I was getting into and I did it anyway.
Oh, I agree. I know that I made mistakes.
People say, well, look what you got. You got your, I get it. I get it.
But seriously, if anybody would like to send in a text,
I'd like to.
We've been getting a lot of great texts. And hopefully we're helping not just
the emails.
Whoever's out there. The emails are big.
Emails to Jim and Peter
at
jimandpeter.com. Yeah.
You don't know that now?
I forget. There's so many new things popping up right now.
.com.
Yep.
.com.
Yep. Or Jim and Peter show at gmail.com.
Gmail.
Yeah. Eventually, you're going to have your own email address. Ooh.
I'm feeling it. Hey, whoa, with that little pal.
Yeah, pinky.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, look, I think you've made your point, and I think the point is that
I saw that thing, and it just brought it back.
It's just responsible
parenting. And then when I
parenting.
went back and I listened to those little voices, and believe me, I'm as bad as anybody else to have it happen, but it's just I still don't understand how you handle that. I mean, because hopefully some of our friends out there will send something that we didn't think about.
Send a pie.
Send a pie.
Yeah, we love pie.
Okay.
Except for that
apple.
No, apple. I
Pumpkin.
think no, but just don't do that whole plum thing. Because remember what
The
happened when
thumb
we
in
did
the
plum?
air?
Yeah, remember it was messy. All right, listen. You're listening to the Jim and Peter Show. I'm Peter G, and that's
Good deal.
okay. That's good deal. Thank you, good deal.
I like pie.
Yeah. He's still stuck on the pie. You got to watch your girlish figure. All right.
Hey, wait a minute.
I know.
Hey.
That cross is very slimming.
Yeah.
So's mine.
Okay, Twiggy.
Yeah,
You're
Twiggy.
just-
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
We're fat asses.
Yeah.
But we're unhappy fat
The women
asses.
just love us.
Yes. We got to go. You're listening to Jim and Peter Show. Thanks, guys, for listening,
Thank
and we
you
love
so
you.
much. We really appreciate it. Take care.
Peace.
Jim and Peter.